You're listening to an African Elements top news story for July 8, 2025. Please visit our website at africanelements.org for more daily news. The streets of Kenya have become a battleground for democracy and human rights. On July 7, 2025, anti-government protests escalated, resulting in at least 10 to 11 deaths. This unrest reflects deep frustrations among Kenyans regarding their government and challenges to fundamental freedoms. The protests coincide with the 35th anniversary of the original Saba Saba demonstrations, a pivotal moment in Kenya's journey toward multi-party democracy. The human toll of the July 7th protests highlights the dangers faced by those advocating for their rights. Initial reports indicated 2 bodies with gunshot wounds were brought to Eagle Nursing Home in Kangemi, Nairobi. A Reuters reporter witnessed police firing at protesters in Kangemi, where a man was found motionless with a bleeding wound. Eagle Nursing Home confirmed 6 injured individuals and 2 deaths from gunshot wounds. Kenyatta National Hospital reported treating 24 injured individuals. Kenyan police confirmed 11 deaths and reported 52 officers injured. CNN and Sky News also reported 11 deaths, with CNN adding that hundreds were arrested. DW reported at least 10 killed. The United Nations Human Rights Office expressed concern over these killings, calling for an independent investigation. The protests stem from public outrage over corruption, police brutality, abductions of critics, and the high cost of living. Economic struggles, particularly among the youth, have driven discontent as they face daily challenges. The demonstrations were sparked by calls for police accountability following the death of blogger Albert Ojwang in police custody last month. President William Ruto acknowledged that Ojwang died at the hands of the police, fueling public anger. An autopsy revealed that Ojwang's death was caused by assault. Murder charges have been approved against 6 individuals, including 3 police officers, who have pleaded not guilty. The shooting of an unarmed street vendor by police on June 17th further intensified public anger. These incidents solidified demands for President Ruto's resignation. The police response has drawn criticism for excessive force. Security forces used tear gas, water cannons, and live ammunition against demonstrators. These tactics were employed after major roads into Nairobi were blocked, indicating a coordinated effort to suppress protests. Observers described the force used as excessive and unlawful. Specific incidents included police opening fire on unarmed protesters and violently assaulting others. Videos from Kitengela and Rongai showed officers in unmarked vehicles engaging in these actions. The Kenya National Commission on Human Rights reported that police operated in plainclothes and collaborated with armed gangs. The KNCHR accused the National Police Service of defying a high court order prohibiting the deployment of officers in plain clothes during demonstrations. This behavior raises serious questions about accountability within the police force. The protests are part of a long history of anti-government demonstrations in Kenya. Last year, protests over tax hikes led to at least 60 deaths as security forces clashed with demonstrators. On June 25, 2025, at least 19 people were killed during protests against police brutality. This event coincided with the anniversary of anti-tax protests in 2024, which resulted in over 60 deaths. The Kenyan government withdrew a controversial tax bill in June 2024 following intense demonstrations. Public anger over police violence and other grievances remains high, indicating an ongoing struggle for justice. A significant aspect of the current protests is the prominent role of Generation Z. Most protesters are young Kenyans, feeling the brunt of economic hardship and lack of opportunities. Their activism is not new. The first major Gen Z protests occurred last summer against a planned tax law. Their engagement highlights a growing generational divide and demand for change. These young people, connected through social media, are committed to shaping Kenya's future. The ongoing protests demand justice and accountability from the government. Protesters are calling for President Ruto's resignation and actions to address systemic issues. The international community has taken notice, with the UN Human Rights Office expressing concern over the killings. The UN High Commissioner for Human Rights urged respect for freedoms, including peaceful assembly. This scrutiny adds pressure on Kenyan authorities to address citizens' grievances. Copyright African Elements.